You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast, delivering the knowledge in all things fitness business. We help gym owners win. Here are your hosts, Tim Lyons and Randy Engston.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in the house with the Sherpa of strategy, Randy Engston. What's up, buddy?
I couldn't keep composure with that one. Sherpa's a great one.
Dude, Sherpas they lead you up the mountain, buddy.
Oh, good old Nepal. You want to go do
No.
No.
Negative.
Yeah, yep.
So
I did see a good quote about that the other day, though.
Okay.
It was actually like one of those. You know how like everybody's motivational and wants to be positive on. Well, not everybody, but the handful of people try to be on Facebook. There was a good meme. And it was like every dead body on Everest was once a determined individual. Take it easy.
That's true.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can go too hard. So
going hard in the paint. I know some people that go hard in the paint a lot. So we got a little special Whiskey Wednesday. We're breaking in the brand new Built to Grow decanters, courtesy of Kelly and you, actually.
You had a hand in it.
Perfect, man. These are great. We poured the Blantons today. For those of you who don't know about Blantons, look it up. It's delish. Okay, so we got a little Whiskey Wednesday. Couple housekeeping tips. We got the automation workshop happening the 6th and 7th of February, coming up real quick. Excited about that. You can check out details on that at pfmarketingsolutions.com/automation. And always, if you haven't had a chance to read the book yet, timlyonsbook.com, you can go over there and check out the book. We just got another order in, so we can ship those out usually within a couple days.
Yeah, we typically ship them twice a week.
Yep, twice a week, and we got a new batch in, so those are flowing. But yeah, we want to continue on with our top 20 must-haves in 2020 for growth. This is I guess part 2.
Yes,
of 4. We released. The last episode was part 1, so hopefully you guys got some value. We got 5 more must-haves this episode, and then we're going to continue on as we go. Before we do get started, we would love your help by helping us promote this podcast. We're going to be doing a big marketing push to try to get it out there. What helps us is ratings and reviews.
Yes.
So if you're digging what you're hearing, please go to Apple iTunes and throw down that 5-star and little comments like what you think about the show. Also, if you got any tips for us, if you want to hear some stuff, we'd love to hear it in the comments. We do read those, and we do appreciate every single one of you, and it goes a long way for us.
Yeah, and like we've discussed in past episodes, if you've followed along, if you're interested in hearing us speak about something specific, a problem that you have in the facility, something you're trying to implement, something you're trying to change, our objection with this is to help you grow. And so if you want to bring that information, those questions, to the review section on iTunes, if you leave it in your review. In the comments, we will address it. We'll speak to that on air and, essentially give you your own kind of shout-out regarding the problem or solution that we can provide for you regarding the specific situation.
Yeah, because if you had this problem, think about all the other people that probably have the same issue. So here we go. Let's start right into this. This technically would be number 6, but for this episode, number 1, staffing plan. You must have a staffing plan. Just got back from a client's gym in Toronto. I'll give him a shout out to Dimitri's guy's great coach. Has been in business 10 years. I went out there to do the life cycle automation for him. We got into the weeds a little bit with some other coaching because he's in our iron circle. Yeah. So his big thing is, you know what, he does too much. I mean, he's got great team. Like, I met all of his team, and they're great. They've got some great guys and girls and on his staff, and he didn't really have a good staffing plan for them. And so we restructured the staffing plan, and what goes with staffing is job descriptions, performance reviews. He can't hold his coaches and staff accountable if they're not very clear on what their job descriptions are. So it's one of those do everything kind of jobs for a lot of these guys and girls. And so we really got into the weeds and just we laid it out, made a new compensation plan. We did jobs, the whole model, where we wanted to see him, because his big goal is he's been doing this 10 years. He's grinded out. He strategically bought a house literally 30 seconds away from the gym.
That's pretty awesome, though.
But it is cool, but
no disconnect.
He's no disconnect.
Yeah, that's tough.
He's got a great family, and he's doing great stuff. Very proud of Dimitri, but that was his big challenge. It was like, hey, man, he's got to get out of his own way. In order to do that, he's got to delegate, and in order to delegate, you have to have responsibilities. One of the biggest things we teach in our delivery systems portion of our private coaching is staffing plans.
And it's early, intentionally throughout that coaching program. Week 2. Yeah, we dive into that. We create the structure because more often than not, the gym owners we work with have too much on their plate, or every one of them can benefit from more delegation and understanding on holding certain people accountable for the jobs. You guys as gym owners are phenomenal at stepping in and doing the work when it needs to happen, but not more, again, just from those that we've worked with, I see it time and time again where they're willing to do the work without holding somebody accountable that's supposed to be doing the work.
Yeah,
and
that
so
does happen.
You're just driving yourself into a position where you're burnt out. You don't know why your staff isn't doing the work that there should be, but you're creating you're reinforcing that bad habit essentially
by doing it for them.
So.
Yep, and we talk about this in the coaching, and I'll go into a little bit right now. It's your staff wants to do well. They don't. Yeah. They're not like trying to screw stuff up. I mean, if they do screw things up, it's not like intentional. I would think. You would hope, right? They want to be more important. They want to make a difference, especially this younger millennial generation. This is one of their biggest drivers, is being a part of something bigger than them.
Yeah,
and allowing them to do the work allows them to be fulfilled, and they get further driven in their job, and they just do better. And so that's a big piece of this, is being able to let go and let them do the work. And one of the things that I strive on is like I just want my team to make decisions, even if they're wrong. You've heard me say
talked about this. Sure.
I want you to make the decision 100 miles an hour. Don't
act swiftly.
Yeah, don't tippy-toe into making a decision, because the worst thing is just sitting on something and nothing happens, like, or expecting somebody else to do it. I just want my team to make a decision. And yes, they've made a lot of mistakes. And what I will tell them is, you know what, we'll talk about why it was a mistake. I'll try to understand the rationale for why they made that decision. And as long as they didn't just decide one day to flip a coin and make the decision, and there was a reason behind it, I will support them 100%. So that goes into the staffing plan.
With that, another thing about this early on, and actually through the mindset. So week 1, one of the first things I have gym owners do is write their daily plan down. We talked about in part 1. This is another area where staffing comes into play because, like I mentioned in last week's episode, the responsibilities and the activities that one of our clients is doing, half of them needed to be delegated.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't listed in a job description or part of an org chart where there was understanding on overlap, who's responsible for what, that type of thing, she'd be, in the position continuing to do this stuff. So the clearer you can be with those job descriptions.
Definitely.
And then the org chart that goes along with it, right? Guys think, you need redundancy in your business as well. What happens when somebody's not in the office, or somebody's sick, or somebody doesn't show up for whatever reason it is? Those things still need to be done.
Somebody else can pick it up.
Yeah, you have to have a clear answer as to who's responsible first, second, third. Build that redundancy out as an understanding in a structure, so your whole team knows without having to sit around or go to you as the owner and ask the questions. They can just move.
Definitely. Yep. Okay, so there you go. Number 1 for the must-haves in this episode, staffing plan. And the staffing plan goes into job descriptions, org charts, and performance reviews, and the whole thing. So, boom. Make sure you have it. Number 2 for this episode, make sure that you're strategic in your client experience.
Yes.
What do I mean by that? Well, I think the differentiator in today's market, as far as your competition goes, is going to be the client experience. Because to the market, you offer the same thing as everybody else. To the market, you know you're the best in town, but to your market, they just see dollar signs and people getting sweaty.
Fitness, nutrition, and accountability.
To them, it's the same. So how do you make a difference to whether or not they're going to choose you over them? Well, or stick with you instead of leave you. It's the client experience. And we get into this in our coaching program quite a bit, and we go through every step. And one of the like exercises I have the gym owners do is I want them to, before they pull into their parking lot, I want them to switch their vision into what the client would see in driving into the parking lot. Is it clean? Is it easy to park? Is it clearly defined where they're supposed to go, where they're supposed to park? When they get out of the car, is it easy to find the door? What does the door say? Does it say your hours? Is it clear? Because I've been to gyms where I don't know what door I'm supposed to go in.
Absolutely.
And that goes into client experience. When they open the door, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does the person at the front desk say?
What are music playing?
Is there music? Is there ambiance? Is it clean? Is it like that's the client experience that I'm talking about. And then it goes into how they're greeted, how they're trained, how the warm up goes, how they're exited, how, what their emails say, how you answer the phone goes into client experience, and all the touch points that go across it, and including and not limited to the actual programming they're getting in the gym. So this is probably going to be a big wake-up call for most people because you have never done this, and you should.
It definitely through the eyes of the consumer, like you said, it's like secret shopping your own business. Retailers and other businesses do this. Restaurants do it all of the time. I don't remember what I was listening to, a podcast or something recently, but they talk about how, restaurants, when they're going for, when you're doing the grand opening and things like that, you have the pictures of the local food critics, hanging in the kitchen, because the second somebody, your waiting staff needs to know. Oh yeah, like if you're talking like major metropolitan, you want to talk about like the Michelin series, dude. Some of those, those high level
restaurants.
Yeah, those restaurants, and then the editors and the people that are doing the critiques. Well, it used to be that way, and so actually, this is a great point for your client experience. You as a business owner, it used to be that way, right? Restaurants used to have the ability to pluck out and pull in and know the people that were influencing their experience. Nowadays, every single person that walks through your door is that editor. Because of social media, because of Yelp, because of Google reviews, because of Facebook, because of everybody has the ability to make or break your business now. Now you don't need everybody to be a client. You don't need everybody in order to be successful, but you have to perform every single time somebody walks through that door. We all know, no news is good news, and nobody does positive reviews the same way they do negative. It is unfortunate, but you're never going to get that raving review from somebody without either kind of asking for it or guiding somebody to it. But you will absolutely have somebody trash your business that, one, never experienced it. They walk in the front door, nobody greeted them within a minute, and all of a sudden they have their own opinion about how all things are run. Mm-hmm. Make sure those situations don't happen, and your client experience is a big part of that. Like Tim was talking about, it's way before the result the client's getting. The result is just a small portion of the client experience.
Definitely.
We talk about making this, making this the best 1 hour of the client's day.
Yep.
And in order to do that, it's the look, the smell, the experience, the conversation, everything that goes along with it. And it's difficult as a business owner to try and this word strategic is important, because it's not just client experience. If you guys are trying to
be strategic in it,
you need to instill these things through your actions, through your incentives, actions, culture, whatever you can force to try, because and we're going to get into it next, but this is something that you can only try so hard. Your whole experience needs to adapt.
Yep. And it doesn't hurt to ask some of those clients how they're doing. What did what do you like about this? What do you don't like? That kind of goes into the customer surveys that we talk about in our coaching. Ask your clients how they they're going to tell you.
Yeah.
If you ask, if you don't ask, they'll leave and never tell you.
And understand that some clients will have you'll have a common thread. You'll only be able to implement, a handful of suggestions. It's not an all or nothing, and you can never make everybody happy. But that is a great place. The people that are spending money with you are a great source for how to increase the effectiveness of that client experience.
And I would tell you a lot that goes into client experience is consistency. I think having the same exact experience every single time is probably as important as having a good client experience, assuming that it's at least decent, that it doesn't change constantly. Mm-hmm. Like maybe the coaches change, but the workouts and the way you go through your workouts and the coaching cues and the smells and the greetings, those all stay the same. The people might change, but the kind of experience when they go through that session, that should absolutely be the same. If you start changing it up, this is what Rick talked about in the E-Myth book about the barber. If you want to go back to that episode, it was a great haircut every time, but the experience leading up into and after the actual haircut was different every time, and the guy never came back. So.
Yeah, and that goes back to, like we talked about in episode 1, your brand promise. When you create a consistent experience, you solidify your promise. And so that has to happen if you're going to have a brand promise. Because if your brand promise and then your client experience is the execution of your brand promise.
Yeah, that's correct.
So if you're not creating a consistency or a consistent experience, you're failing yourself in your brand promise, which means you're not going to have that long-term retention, that buy-in, that belief. Those are the clients that you want to nurture and keep. And you need that consistent client experience in order to execute that.
Okay. Look at your client experience and make changes immediately if it's not up to par, what you want it to be.
And look around, guys. There's a million things going on right now. Before we pivot, right? Like, the lighting is a big thing in fitness facilities right now, in the group training aspect, for sure. The music, the culture. Like, we're seeing a lot of, to me, it's almost like the spin scene. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the dark.
It's a big show.
It is. But at the end of the day, like if that's... Now, again, ask your clientele. If that's what your clients are looking for, if that's the consistency, if they're going to leave you to go to an Orange Theory to sit in a room because there's loud music and a dark atmosphere, if that's the consistent thread through your gym, maybe that's something that you want to entertain. Not saying it is or it isn't, but utilize the people and the response to understand.
And here's another tip. As a gym owner or trainer, you're probably pretty motivated yourself. You probably wouldn't go a week without working out on your own.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But your clients are not you. And it took me a while to understand this because I came from athletics and football, and it was just part of the day. I was going to go lift. I'm going to lift heavy, and I'm going to push the heck out of myself to be better. Well, Mrs. Johnson isn't a football player.
You mean she doesn't want to do,
she
overheads?
doesn't want to do that. So you got to make a show for her, and it's an entertainment experience too. If we start thinking about it that way, because we got to get out of our own heads. We're not our clients. We're actually very weird in the fact that we're motivated to go train.
We are the rarity. Yeah, exactly. We're
true.
The anomaly.
But when you're in your own body and you're doing this every day, it's hard to relate. But once you figure that out, guys, it'll change a lot for you. So just think about what I just said, and if this is you, think about it from your client's perspective. Okay, let's keep moving. Number 3, culture. You must have culture. Absolutely. And this goes into client experience, and what's going to make the difference between your gym and another gym is pretty much the culture. It comes from the client experience. It comes from your brand promise, but culture isn't something that you can just buy off the shelf.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how culture works. All things aside, CrossFit has a great culture. Everybody makes fun of, the first thing that people say if you're in CrossFit, you tell everybody you do CrossFit. But you know what? It's a cult, but cults are good for business.
Absolutely.
I said this on a post. Somebody was talking about CrossFit, and I said CrossFit, without a shadow of a doubt, is a cult. But cults are good for business.
Yep.
It's a cult. ClickFunnels is a cult.
Yeah.
It's a cult. What you have to understand is like it's like you're drinking the
Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid, and you're gonna go down with the ship because all your eggs are in that basket, and you believe 100% in it, and that's okay because that is good for business.
That's something every business owner should try and emulate. If you guys don't have a desire to have that belief and buy-in and like the ability to create something and have every one of your clients purchase it every single time, you don't belong in business. Like that is what we're all trying to achieve. Certain brands do it very, very well.
Yep.
Without a doubt. Like that's something I've always given them credit for. Again.
Let's call it what it is.
It's credit where credit's due.
It's a cult, but that's not a bad thing.
No.
You think always cults are bad because of these like Waco, Texas, and all that stuff. It's not bad. It's just you have a really tight group.
It's all about belief.
It's a tribe of people that believe in who you are and what you do, and everybody else is horrible. That's really what it comes.
Yeah.
It's us against the world. It's us against them. It's us. Be with us. If you want to be with them, we hate you. You're the enemy. We're the. You know what I mean? That's the conversations that are happening in these like cults.
So let's speak to the specifics of it. So how do you create that?
It's tough.
Yeah.
You got to. Okay. So There's some definite things you got to do. I would say number one is treat everybody like your best client. Put them on a pedestal, and tell them like how, like you're there to serve them. That's the big thing. So by default, when you give, people want to give back to you. Mm-hmm. What's that word? Reciprocation?
Sure.
They want to feel that, like reciprocation. As bad as we do T-shirts in this gym, I think T-shirts are important. Having them wearing your gear outside the gym starts building the tribe. Forcing interaction. I really like the group atmosphere of either boot camps or small group training to kind of get them bonded with other clients in your gym, not just the coaches and the gym, it's the other clients.
Something I've said here at Pulse, you guys have done, again, you set the direction, but like we were talking about beforehand, right? Your strategic client experience, you guys are intentional about certain things, but culture happens from like the clients,
clients
right? Like
do it, yeah.
They have to create the culture of what the facility is known for, but it happens through your strategic client experience. If you give the ability for those connections to happen, part of your training and your methodology is to put clients together, for that group atmosphere, that the benefit of the collective, the conversations that take place, the enjoyment that happens throughout that period of time.
Correct.
And that culture that is a result of those experiences. I'll tell you what, I guarantee I could go out on your training floor and I can get some of the best wine advice. It's not fitness, but here's the thing, right? That is a culture of this facility. Is the there's a pretty affluent crowd. They're very much the happy hour wino. Like that is a pretty common thread, I'd say, throughout the majority of your clientele here. We've got buddies that your old buddy Casey. That's got I know he's part of a CrossFit culture, and their whole thing is, work out hard, but do it because you enjoy beer, and the place he shows up has, it's a gym with access to beer and a kitchen and a lounge and things like that. But that is a culture that is created and reinforced by the brand's promise, by the branded, client experience.
Yep. You could also host events and happy hours and wine night and, holiday parties and, sending them gifts for their birthday and all. There's tons of stuff.
And maybe, I'll get your take on this too, because fitness is one of those things where we know, like the habit-based nutrition is a big thing right now, and understanding, right? We know that our client, we could write a perfect meal plan, perfect diet plan, perfect workout plan, but nobody's going to fucking execute it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not competing. So is is part of your culture trying to kind of tiptoe back and forth to realize that people are human and people are going to do things like have wine nights, and we should embrace certain things that are not just hardcore fitness?
Depends on who your clients are, because there's some coaches out there that are hardcore, and they get amazing results at the expense of sometimes life for their clientele. But that's the client. The client wants that
they're attracting.
So could you tiptoe around it in a gym like this, and really the clients aren't necessarily so strung out on the results they're getting as far as physical results, or they just want to be a part of something? That would be one direction, sure. Then there's those other, like obviously the competitor world. You it's do or die. You're on the stage being judged. You're almost like an athlete there.
Yeah.
Then you've also got coaches that are hardcore with like businessmen, and they take them out and do these retreats with them, and they're coaches for them, and it's like that's the direction. So you got to kind of think about who you are,
who you serve,
who you serve, and what you believe in, and then go that direction. So I mean, it's a catch. It's up to the culture changes for each facility.
Yeah. No, and that's exactly kind of what I was trying to get from that was that there's not like our culture here is not necessarily the culture every one of you guys are going to instill.
Totally.
You know what I mean? That should be a byproduct of who you are, what you believe in, who you want to, and then who you want to serve. Your brand promise is going to dictate some of that. Your core values is going to dictate some of that. You showing up, what do you find interest in? Like you talked about, you were the athlete.
Yep.
But you stepped into business.
Yeah.
You didn't decide to step into the personal training realm and then, ascend from there either.
Yep.
So your experience is going to be different than other gym owners, and your culture should be unique to you.
I made that decision because that was the biggest piece of the market.
Sure.
Was I would have a bigger piece of like potential customers if I went this direction. Now, that being said, if you want to be the guy or girl that has the gym with the bar on top and you party and you train hard and that's the work that you do, I almost feel like if you created that, you're going to attract the people that you want to serve that way.
I agree.
I kind of went the other way, and I said, do I really want to? I would love to train athletes. But I already knew that there was no money there.
It's hard, yeah.
I'd love to train professional athletes and be, the guy that, is in the background, like almost like Todd Durkin. I mean, to me, that would be awesome.
Sure.
But he runs kind of a split kind of business. But I saw early on, it's like I can't go this direction and stay in business. So I, shifted my thoughts and went, to the general population. I just figured there was more business to be had.
Yeah, it's
there.
your greatest chance for survival in a way,
yeah.
Right? At that point.
Yeah, and when I started hearing the numbers was like 8% are in bodybuilding and like 10% are CrossFit, and then you got like the 80% of general population or whatever, or athletes. I mean, you know what I mean? So that's how I thought of it. I was like, there's just way too much. It's too small of a sliver of the pie to go to the athlete side. Let me go to general population, and that's how I just built that.
Smart.
So, all right, keep moving through here. Number 4 for this episode: diversification of income, profit centers.
Another thing that we teach throughout our coaching program, specifically throughout our coaching program.
We believe in this so much that we're giving it to you here, and that's part of our coaching program.
If you guys have followed the podcast, if you've read Tim's book, if you've been a client of ours in the past, you're going to if you're part of our marketing group on Facebook, if you have not understood that Tim and I believe in multiple poles in the water and the ability to diversify, you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
This is a huge aspect of what we believe. One of the things that we work with a lot of our private clients are, instilling additional levels of service.
That's the kind of the next one.
Yeah, we'll pivot into that, but like at least bringing in the services themselves.
Yeah.
We work with a lot of gym owners that had single service facilities. Did team training and that was it.
Come in, do your workouts, go home.
Yeah,
$149 a month.
Yeah, and we talked about the struggles with that, and we've talked about the benefits of having something like that when it comes to like an Orange Theory, things like other facilities and franchises like that, but also the limitations. We know that their clients are staying with them no more than 7 months.
No,
down
now
to
it's like 3.
Down to 3. Yeah,
we can't do that anymore. So diversification of income. What I mean here is like multiple profit centers. 5 to 8 would be good. And you can do things like nutrition, supplements, apparel. I mean, heck, my zones are technically a profit center that are not part of your basic membership. Technically, training, if you have a basic membership, then training is a different profit center.
Team, small group, one-on-one, I would consider different profit centers.
Different profit centers. You can do massage, muscle therapy. You can host workshops, nutrition. You can do paid seminars. You can do paid challenges internally. You can do... smoothies. We do smoothies. We're thinking about coffee. We're polling our audience right now.
Supplements.
We did supplements. You can do, and then within those supplements, you can do like a reoccurring supplement line. You can do meal plans. You can do meal prep. You can do, there's a lot of different ways that you can. To make more money. There's 3 ways to make more money in this business and any business. It's more clients. Increase the cart value of each purchase, like raising your rates, or have your current clients, or the people you already serve, buy more frequently. And this is the more frequently button.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, if you don't have any of those things, they're not going to give you more money for other things. There's a built-in return on investment or profit margin of each thing that you sell. So the more things you can push. I mean, now when we say sell, I'm also saying, without saying it, selling something that's going to get them a better result.
Yeah.
Don't just sell them crap to sell them crap. That's not to make money. It's to, what do we had an episode about this. Was like, what are the 4 things that make the decision if you were going to bring in another profit center?
Yep.
And I'll recap them. Number 1, you have to believe in what you're bringing in. If you don't believe in it, let's just say it's a saran wrap,
weight loss solution or whatever you want to call it.
Saran wrap weight loss solution. You don't believe in it, don't do it. Number 2, will it get your clients better results? Because that's the bottom line. by better results, technically a better client experience could then keep them longer than get them, you know what I mean? And then they stay longer and they get better results that way.
I mean, I'd argue that our result that we're aiming for is a combination of your client experience as well as the pounds lost, the muscle, the strength gain, the muscle gain, like that type of thing. It has to be a combination of.
Okay.
Because again, back to the work, right? Like, nobody wants to be doing that work. If they're coming here torturing themselves for a hard result, but then hating every second that they're here, they're not going to be here. So call a spade, and it is going to be the ability, because there's certain times where you have to be easier on a client so that they don't push back, regret, the workout, or have a negative experience, because you can hurt your client. One, you can hurt the experience by pushing somebody too hard for a result. So a good trainer is going to know, back and forth. But
so going back to the 4 questions was, do you believe in what you're bringing in? So this is a profit center. When you're positioned to make a decision on whether or not you want to do this, these are the 4. Do you believe in it? Does it get your clients better results? Can you make money from it? Okay, there's something to be said there. Like, you can't just bring in stuff to sell and break even or lose.
As long as it's costing you money. You might bring things in that don't cost money that might.
Okay, but can you make money from it? That might be something. And then number 4, you got all those things, but can you actually sell the thing? Mm-hmm. So that's the 4th thing. Can you sell it? Like, just because you have it on the shelf, it gets clients results, you believe in it, you can make money from it, but if you can't push the product or push the service and sell it, then what's the point? So those are the 4 things that I make the decision on whether or not I'm going to bring in another profit center. And we just kind of went through a list of them. So diversify your income is an absolute must for growth this year.
And that's probably one of the fastest things that you could do for financial growth. You know what I mean? You could spend a month, find a supplement supplier or a t-shirt company or additional profit centers that will take your bottom line and just provide a whole new layer. Mm-hmm. So that's probably one of the ones that if you're in business this year and you don't have enough of those poles in the water, that might be something that you could do quickly to see a big explosion in 2020.
Perfect.
For additional revenue.
Let's get into the final one. This is as important as any of the other ones that we've discussed. Having an ascension system, or technically a value ladder in your business. This is huge. And I learned this kind of, I guess, through Brunson in his .com Secrets book. We had some of it, but we really polished it after reading that. We polished it, and we also polished it for Profit. So let's talk about what the Ascension Ladder is. It is more or less it's kind of a funnel in the terms of, how do you get somebody from not hearing about you, ever knowing who you are, getting them into your ecosystem, getting them to start with you, and then finish at the highest price product.
Yeah.
So going back to the bottom of the value ladder, this is stuff like, how do you market using free content? And free content can be simple as a blog, a Facebook post, a podcast like we're doing, videos, lead magnets,
ebooks.
That's content driven, bottom of the value ladder. I'm going to give you this for free. Then you might have something with what they would call a tripwire. It might be something that's really low cost. Could be a $7 ebook or a $19 workout plan or a $39 recipe guide with online workout thing. That's the next step. The next step into your business might be a paid trial for $89. You get 2 weeks with us. It could be a paid trial for $7. It could be a free trial too. But again, this is just them now they're actually in your facility. So think about that. They've never heard of you. They start seeing your stuff. They opt in. They maybe buy a little thing. Now they opted in to come in. Now they're in your gym. The trial is a great low level of the value ladder. Mm-hmm. Maybe next you might have a basic membership. That might be the next value ladder rung. Then you might have a team training option. Then you might have a limited semi-private training option, which is like 4 times a month. Then you might have an 8 or 12 or unlimited as you keep going up. Then you might have a private training option.
Sure.
Again, 4, 8, 12, unlimited. You might have 3 levels of that. Then you might have an all-inclusive, top of the thing, private everything, lifestyle program.
Yeah, we're doing nutrition. We're doing it all. Yeah.
Mindset, nutrition, you're cooking for them, all this stuff. That might be like, $2,000 a month. Or
yeah,
something
your
like that.
ridiculous offering, sure.
And see how that goes, because eventually there's going to be people, and the reason we talk about the value ladder being so important in your business, it's not just to make more money. It's as people ascend up the value ladder, they're getting better results.
Correct.
Because they have a better service or product that you can give to them. The more they pay, the more exposure they get to the coach, to the expert, to the guru. That's the top. So that if you don't have that in your business, take a hard look, take a half step back, draw this bad boy out on a whiteboard, and start thinking about everything I just said.
Something that goes along with that too, that's a beautiful thing as far as the client that's ascending up the value ladder, is you also, as they're doing that, naturally and kind of subconsciously, you're taking somebody from cold traffic typically all the way through up to what we would call like a promoter. Right, your clients that are spending the most, staying with you the longest, are the ones that are turning around and telling everybody about your service. These are the people that these are the ones. There's a reason that you build people and you ascend them strategically up your value ladder. Right, you know that you're making more money, which is a selfish reason for doing so. But at the end of the day, simultaneously, you must be delivering a greater result. So there is none of that, it's me versus them mentality. It's a positive aspect for you and the client.
Yep.
When they get to that promoter level, or when they get to your highest price packaging, those individuals are the ones that you really need to continue to you want to keep them very, very happy, because they're the ones that are going to be growing your facility faster than anybody else.
Yep. Perfect. So there you have it. Those are the next 5. This is part 2 of the top 20 must-haves for growth. Did you guys like it? Leave us a comment, review. Let us know what you think about it. We got 2 more of these, I guess 3 and 4 coming up soon over the next Tuesday, Thursdays. That's when we release these. But gosh, I can't imagine not having any of these on this board.
I'm glad that we were able to kind of like, put them on a list and like actually get them out, because every one of these is imperative for the businesses that we work with.
Yeah. And I'm glad that we have all these things, because I can speak to these in the facility. They're as important as anything. I mean, I don't think you can get away with not having these.
Well, let's. I mean, I'll use myself as an example, guys. I'm close enough to the problem. I understand your business. I understand. I work day in, day out, and I've done this for a long time with Tim. But I've never been in the driver's seat and actually had the risk involved. Seeing these types of things and knowing the majority of business owners, and we've worked with hundreds, if not 1,000 by now. I can tell you that more often than not, the gym owners that we've spoken with, when they're thinking about growth, they're thinking about newer equipment, they're thinking about certifications, they're thinking about how they can deliver a greater result, they're thinking about it's too far down their client's problem without it being other ways of like, the clients are there showing up and they're getting results. That is a good thing. Focus on the client experience and the other things of the business for growth, not just
staffing, value ladder. This isn't training. This isn't kettlebell swings.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Like that's not gonna move the needle in your business, and you're not gonna be that. 12 months on the road, you're not gonna be like, holy crap! Like my entire business is different because I got 3 new certifications. You're never gonna see that happen.
No.
Those are things that are important and should be addressed in the business. But if you have to start weighing, do I focus my attention there or some of these things on this list? Guys, this list is gonna make your life in your business an entirely different situation. Focus on things like this to grow a business.
Absolutely. And there was a time where I was deep in the weeds, going to the Perform Betters and going into those hands-on lectures and all that stuff. I cut the cord early and said, there's no point in me learning this stuff. I'm going to hire coaches and send the coaches there, I'm going to.
I'm glad you said that.
I'm going to work on this business. The coaches need that stuff. You, gym owner running a facility, I'm going to just say you don't need another certification. You need to learn how to run and operate a business profitably, keep the kind of experience, and have the right staff in place to run a profitable business. Then worry about that stuff, because yes, the having another cert and having another piece of equipment isn't going to move the needle like you think it is.
No.
But that's the trainer brain, and that's what and it's not your fault but I'm just coming from a business owner side and being beat up in this business for 10 years. This is what I'm telling you. And if I would have learned this even earlier, I'd probably be in a better spot than I am now. But we're giving you guys the goods.
Yeah, like consider, so like, just for the sake of understanding, or like to use an analogy, right? Your client's results are one thing. Look at your business and your net profits like your client's results. If you started treating your business like you do your client's results, look at where you're going to be at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like you have to be intentional with these things as a business owner. You don't need a huge business. These aren't things that like, multi-million-dollar businesses just decide, okay, now it's time to implement these things.
No.
You know what I mean? Like this is a foundation for if you're the independent trainer and you're looking to open a facility, start having a lot of these things in place now, because when your doors open, all of these things are going to carry over, and you're going to skyrocket your results.
Yeah. And I'll throw this out there for anybody that needs help. If you want us to help you do this through our client coaching program, this is our private client coach. I keep saying that. Private coaching clients. Private 8-week program. We do year programs as well. Get on a call with Randy at pfmarketingsolutions.com/call. There's a breakthrough form. You'll figure out a time that works best for you. The time shown will be in your own time zone.
Time zone, yep.
You pick a time that works good for you on your calendar, and there's a little breakthrough form that we're going to ask you like probably 10 questions before the call, and Randy's going to dive into your stuff and see how we can help you. That's all I can tell you guys. pfmarketingsolutions.com/call. This is what we love. We love helping gym owners win. We love you love what you love, Randy.
Oh, yeah.
I love solving massive problems that change the whole game, and that's what I feel like I'm best at. And so that's what I want. If you got a big problem, I'll solve it for you. There's nothing that you have going on in your business that I can't figure out how to solve.
I agree.
There's nothing that you're facing in your business that I haven't either gone through or can find the answer for you guys. So nothing's too big or too small. If you feel like you just need a little kick in the ass and you need some little help on some stuff, like our friend Dimitri's got a great business. He needs a lot with the staffing. He needs a lot with the staffing. Another client, Ryan, he's amazing. He's got a great following, doing near $1 million. He's a client of ours. And so even though these guys have great businesses, they have things that they need help with, and they reach out to us. So big or small, pfmarketingsolutions.com/call. Give us a ring, book a call, and we'll call you guys, and we'll have a nice chat.
Yeah. And it's going to be a lot like this. The calls are literally me diving in, seeing what areas like this you have in your business, because at the end of the day, these are the things that move the needle. And if you're an exceptional trainer and you deliver great results, but that's really where you're limited, we're going to be able to poke holes in the business itself and then provide a solution and a path for you. So, yeah, let's get on a call. Let's talk about it. But
perfect. All right, guys, until next episode, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show. Bye.